Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and this is B.fleye Beauty, and this is my series called Beauty Basics. So stay tuned to see what your lesson is going to be. Okay guys, so today's lesson is on concealer. Step one was foundation, cover up, whatever you want to call that. One tip is to also make sure that you're doing cream and then powder. So you don't want to do a powder foundation and then do a concealer under the eye after the fact. So if you are going to use a powder foundation, you want to make sure that you conceal any deeper, darker, raised areas that you want to conceal more. You want to do those first with your liquid or cream products. I highly recommend that you do not use a very thick concealer under the eye. If you have something like a scar or a blemish that you want to cover, maybe use the thicker concealer there. So like I have, might want to zoom in a little bit. That's the wrong way, huh? Sarah, come on. So I have something that's kind of been here for a while. It's Healing Zit, so I'm going to cover that with something thick. And then I don't have anything else that I want to use thick concealer on. I'm going to use a lighter consistency under my eyes. And I have two favorites for those. I have the Maybelline Age Rewind and the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. And I'm going to do one on each eye so I can show you. The Maybelline Age Rewind and Neutralizer works for almost every single skin tone. Unless you're a very deep skin tone, this can work for you. So I'm gonna do this one on one eye, and it's very thin. You can build it up. If it's not enough coverage, you could also mix the lighter concealer with a heavier one. So I go right in the corner here, and then because I use I use Rodan & Field's Lash Boost. It it reddens my eyelids a little bit. I'm gonna take that same Love is the Foundation brush, and I'm just going to press this into the skin. If you do use a beauty blender or beauty sponge, want to make sure that it's a little damp. Make sure that you squeeze out any of the excess water. So I'm putting this where I get my darkness only, right? The least amount possible on the skin, because we do not live in a picture, right? We live in person. So I do have a little darkness here, so I might just put one little dot, little minion talk, and then I'm gonna press. This brush works best pressing in and not buffing through. There are some other brushes that are good for that, like the Real Techniques. This is, I think, foundation, nope, buffing brush, literally buffing in. So that one's good for that. And then I'm gonna take the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer on the other eye, so you can see it is similar. It's a tiny bit thicker, but it is not thick at all. And this is a little less yellow. So again, I'm getting in the corner where it's darkest, and then I'm pulling the extra product down and around. So you don't have to put the product everywhere. You can use the excess to pull it down so that you're doing the least amount of product and then building, right? If I've missed a spot, I can go back. But if I have a crap ton of product on my face, that's a lot harder. So those both give kind of similar effects. I'm gonna go in and take this right around my nose, because that skin tint doesn't get everything, and I hold a lot of redness around my nose. Another thing is product doesn't really stick there very often, so. Again, you're pressing, 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 pressing. No matter what you do, you want to make sure that you blend it into all the areas. Again, the thicker the product, the more places you have to put it, right? Because it's covering more, that means your face is going to look different than your neck. So you do want to bring it down your neck, you do want to bring it into the hairline, and you do want to bring it onto the ears. My coverage is light enough to where I don't have to put it on my ears, but you know, it just depends on what you have on your face. Then I'm going to take a little bit of a thicker concealer. This is a lot of a thicker concealer. This is the Kat Von D Tattoo Concealer. I don't even think that you need this thick. I could probably use one of the other ones I have, and I'm just gonna dot that here. You can use your finger, but you wanna make sure that when you put concealer on, it's not this right? You're not covering this whole entire area. You're pinpointing it right on there. And you can use a really tiny brush to help that not get everywhere. Give me a spot. Let it sit for about 30 seconds, and then I'm gonna pat it with that foundation brush and then blend in the edges, because I don't want this thickness anywhere I don't have to have it. I need this brush to come apart. Well, I'm just gonna use it like that anyway, because the tip is showing. It's got a little cover on it. So, and then you can build if it's not enough. If you have raised areas, when you highlight something, and I'll talk about this in the highlighting video, if you have very raised bumps on the skin and you put a lighter concealer on, like you might under your eyes, it's going to draw attention to that space. So you want to brighten the under eye a little bit, so maybe one shade lighter or the same color as your foundation and your skin would be nice for under the eye. But on the actual blemish, you want the exact color of your foundation or skin so that you're not drawing attention, because raised bumps cannot be concealed fully, right? Because that's a texture thing. So if it's a color problem, it's easier to cover up, and you have to kind of just play with different formulas on your skin. This is not gonna be fully gone away because it is a scab at this point. So that's as good as it's gonna get, and that's where I'm gonna stop for that. When it comes to powdering and setting your foundation and concealer, if you've done a powder foundation, you probably will not need another powder to set everything because you've already done your concealer first. If you are using liquid products, you will need to powder a little bit. I am an oily lady, so I have to powder just a little bit. Bare minimum. I use this e.l.f. It's almost completely gone. It's 4-color powder, and I just swirl it all together and I pat this, because even though I'm oily, I don't want a lot of cake on my skin. So this is a very light, barely brings any coverage at all, and this is just more about setting what you have down to help creasing and to help it stay longer. And again, same thing with the powder. If you're gonna powder the whole face, you wanna get into the hairline, over the ears, and down the neck. And if you feel like you need to bake in those areas, you can go ahead. Baking on my skin, even when it is oily, does not look good in person. So let's zoom us back out here. So this is lesson number 2. We've just done concealer and setting of the skin. Thanks for watching, guys.